Morning.
First time I met DK, I remember we were playing in South Africa, if I'm not wrong, Champions Trophy 2009. It's the first time I shared the change room with Dinesh, and I found him to be a very amusing, very, I would say, hyperactive, confused person. Most of the time he was just moving all over the place, never stopping. That was my first impression of Dinesh. Outstanding talent, brilliant batsman to watch, and my first impression and the present day impression are not far apart, just that he's become wiser and he's calmed down a lot.
Dipika and Dinesh, both of them have been training from a very young age with me. Dipika used to come and train in our gym. They met in the gym, and I think they immediately struck a chord.
I guess when things are meant to be, they happen. And when we met in 2013, I think it was very fast that we knew that we wanted to spend our lives with each other, and I'm guessing everything clicked.
I think she is very inspirational for Dinesh. For example, like imagine we are playing a team sport in cricket, so there is a lot of help. Individual sport, you need to do everything yourself. Literally from catching a cab to carrying your bags and everything, and Dinesh has seen all those things, and it really inspires him to work really hard. And Dipika is a workhorse and she works really hard. Somewhere I think that has rubbed on to Dinesh.
I remember watching his father speaking about Dinesh when he was young. I think the one thing that DK is really good at is once he's decided he wants to do something and he takes it upon himself, I think he follows it to the T. He's not someone who will question what someone's told. He's a great follower, he's a great leader as well, but he's a great follower, and I think for someone to be a great leader, he needs to have the ability to follow and listen, and I think DK has that tremendously.
I think he's faced the most number of balls in training in the history of cricket.
Off the field, I've had some really nice and interesting conversations with him, and he's a very wise man. Has great knowledge about a lot of things, not just cricket. And I've thoroughly enjoyed my conversations with him. Even in the phase that in 2022, when I didn't have a great IPL season and I was really struggling for confidence, he sat me down a couple of times and just gave me a very honest explanation of how he is seeing things, and maybe I'm not able to see them myself. So I just like his honesty, his courage to go and speak to anyone about things that he really dearly feels about, and that I think is the most special thing for me when it comes to Dinesh, and that's something that I've always cherished about him, and that's why we get along really, really well.
Dinesh Karthik is like a phoenix. I mean, he will rise from the ashes every time, and I think you should rewrite the word, put the word phoenix and put meaning is Dinesh Karthik.
One of the things that I've really learned with him and his career as well, if he doesn't do well, if he's dropped from the team, I think it's just 2 or 3 days where he's at a lull and then he's back on his feet thinking about what to do next.
I keep telling my children too, DK should be your inspiration. First and foremost is dedication, discipline, and the will to come back every time. It's just mind-blowing.
I feel like if anyone else was in that position, I think a lot of people would have given up long time back. Even me, I mean, I'm an athlete. Seeing him in different positions in his career, if I was him, I would have definitely given up. But I think that do or die or never give up attitude has always been there.
What we've realized with DK is that he needs perceived pressure in his life to do well. So what happens is we are in Chennai and we're going to be playing, I think, Madhya Pradesh. That's, I think, his 7 innings done and he's not scored a run. Calls me, I think, third day morning before we go to the ground and says, I'm done, I'm going to retire in 2014. This is my last innings. If I don't score this game, I'm retiring. And what he does, puts that perceived pressure on himself, goes in and scores on a very, very tough pitch. Turning a bit, scores a 150 or 140.
I always looked at Dinesh and I felt like he was such a correct player, technically, that he could adapt to any kind of role that's been given to him. And I remember watching him in the 2013 season where he got some 600 runs or something like that. And he batted brilliantly at 3. And I saw him play shots which were like, wow. Yeah, I think he's done brilliantly to switch and become a renowned finisher.
There's been different DKs. I feel over the last 10 years that we've been together, I think every 2 years, I think he tries to reinvent himself. And I feel like as a wife also, I see that difference in him. I think over the last 4 to 5 years, I think that's when he's really enjoyed the sport. The time when he met Abhishek Nair, who's obviously become family to us, I think he's played such a big role, not just in his career, I think as building him as a person as well.
Well, I think there were a lot of things going on with DK at that point, personally, professionally. Also the fact that, he felt he was at the lowest point in his career. So I remember the first couple of days when we met and we spoke, it was only nothing about cricket, but it was more about understanding DK. And I remember 4 days where we spoke for hours and hours and hours, and there was so much, in him that he wanted to discuss and talk about, that I feel at that point he just felt that he didn't know where to go from there.
I can write a book on DK's rituals, and it can be easily a 150-page book. I'm not even kidding.
What everybody is seeing now is a very, very subtle version. What people need to understand is the situation he goes in, especially in the last 4-5 years, is a high intensity situation. So it's very difficult to just be sat on your seat, put your helmet on. I think very few people in the world can do that. So he gets his heart rate up and going, runs like a maniac up and down maybe 25,000-30,000 times, does about 200,000 push-ups before he goes in.
I can bet my life on it. If we have a calorie count, he will burn more calories before actually he gets onto the field than on the field. He recently did an exercise called stiff jumps to the box. I think it is an hilarious video. I mean, his relation to a name of the exercise and what it is. You just can't marry these two.
Sir, you asked me to video this. The first year with RCB, opened a lot of doors for him in terms of the role that he had got. This is his happy place. He's got all the right people around him here.
I think it'll be the camaraderie he misses with the banter in the dressing room. I think people will remember him as someone who never gave up and for his perseverance.
I think at a stage where DK is now, he's very content with what he has done, what he's achieved, and I think that's the most important thing with any athlete, is to try and be content with the work you've put in all these years. It's not going to be easy moving away from the game because this is all he has done all his life. But I think he's a person where as long as he's content, he's ready to move on in life. So he's done well for himself and his family, and he just has to be proud of it.
He's been connected to the team now for a long period of time and he's really thoroughly enjoyed himself here. He's been dearly accepted by the fans and he's a great cricketing brain, so I wish him all the very best for all his future endeavours moving forward, and also hopefully he remains connected to RCB in one way or the other in the future, because his expertise when it comes to cricket is priceless. I think he's of great value to this franchise.
Whenever the last match is, whenever you decide to retire and hang up your bat, I feel like we'll just be very, very proud of the fact that you've given it all, and he's reached this thing where he can proudly say that, I'm done and I'm happy with my career.
Dinesh, I think if you quit cricket, probably you'll be the best commentator. If you become a coach of some team, probably you'll become the best coach. Whatever you do, I know for a fact that you don't like to settle for a silver medal anywhere. You want to go for gold.
Knowing DK, he won't be far away from the cricket field. Stop building houses. You have enough. Start spending a lot more time with your children and with your family. I think they've sacrificed so much for you.
Spend more time with us. I think we'll really appreciate it.
He's got a lovely family, lovely wife. His kids are beautiful, and I can tell him that he can be really proud of himself and his career and what he's done to make a name for himself and be accepted and loved by so many people. I think it's a great blessing. So wish him all the best.
For me, everything that I have been in my career is thanks to you. And all I can say is that no matter what you've done or what you accomplished, I know that there's still be something left in that heart of yours where you feel that, no, I wish I could have done that and this. But whatever you've done, I've always been proud of you, and you can be proud of yourself. Be happy with your children, with your family. Enjoy your mansion in Chennai now and enjoy a retired life. No more cricket. Good luck.